All right, guys, what is going on? What is good? It is Friday. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. It is Friday, September 8th, 2023. I hope you guys had a good week. Hope it was productive. And hope you learned something. Hope you learned something. Whether it was from me or the books that you read or anywhere else. Anywhere else. All right, we should be good to go. We should be good. Man, I think these lows are about to get taken. And I do not want that. I would rather have that left open. But I don't know. Good morning. What's Let's get Beverly, Willow, Max, Planet, Naruto, Katarina, Sean, Jeffrey from New Zealand, 2020, and Josh. What's good? What's good? We got 19 people, 4 likes, man. Come on. You know the drill, fam. You know the drill. You already know. We take partials along the way, and we drop a like on the stream when we get in. You guys know this. TPM my longs that I held from yesterday. I wanted to attack Imbalance on 4-hour, but they looking sketch now. Well, it is Friday, so sometimes you don't always get the move that you're looking for. Friday's typically my worst day anyway, like performance-wise. But I've always been open about that. Shorted EU at 1074. Looking for the lows. I have not even looked at Euro. I haven't looked at any currencies today. Shit, if anything, I just got on the computer. If anything, I just got on the computer. I don't even know what we were looking for. I don't think I looked for anything on the dollar, really. I think I see what you did here. Or I think I see what you're trying to do. 740. Oh, you shorted up here? Like right here? You have Wednesday's high. You have a lack of wick right there too. Huh. Huh. It's interesting. That is interesting, Willow. Shorting above old highs, right? I put out these top 10 smart money trading rules. I put that out like 4 months ago, but I put that reel out on Instagram yesterday. And that is one of them, right? Is I don't want to buy above old highs. So if I don't want to buy above old highs, what are we going to do instead? Short above old highs, right? Cake. So that was a good job there. You know what's interesting too? And I'm not taking any credit for this. I'm not going to take any credit away from your trade. But what I would say is, you remember, it was either Wednesday or Thursday's market review. I talked about these highs here, right? Because we talked about how they're not low resistant highs. We have a higher high here. So that's not a target for me, right? And so you notice the market, it never went up there. It got close, but it never traded there. So I would keep that in the back of like I would note that, right? For your notes, like if you're printing charts off, like you should be. That's what I would note. We never got there. So I think that would have been an okay stop. I don't know where your stop loss is at, but I think mine probably would have been there. And then British pound, I think it looks like it cleared all that shit. It cleared all that in here. If anything, I could see British pound trading below Thursday's low as well. Nice and clean, crispy highs here. Consolidation here. Almost London's high. That was swept, and then the carnage. So I could probably see that today, I guess. That was the stop for that exact reason. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Does my voice sound any different, or do I sound the same? I think I have there's like I don't know. My voice is different right when I wake up the first like 30, 45 minutes. I don't know if that's just like a guy's thing or I don't know. I don't know what that means. But anyway, let's back up for a minute. What did we talk about earlier this week? We talked about this gap here, right? That was on Wednesday. Wednesday's a live session. We were like right in the middle of that, somewhere in here. And what did we note? Sound the same? Okay, that's good. We talked about how that would be what? That would most likely be relevant for Wednesday and or for the week. What was our low of the week? Wednesday. So if you were looking for longs yesterday, I think I was looking for shorts actually, but what are you gonna do? Indices usually offers both sides during the days, but either way. And then so we got another up close candle, at least as of right now. We'll have to see how the rest of the day goes, but I would study that as well, right? Because we talked about discount gap inside this old down candle at the lower end of the range, right? From this low up to this high. That was a discount market, a concept at a discount level, right? Fibonacci logic. So that seemed to actually work out pretty well. I'm looking at this. I think this looks a little bit janky today as well. I think it's just been a rather janky week, to be fair. What I would note, if you guys want something for your notes today, for ES, I did a lesson on this a long time ago. I don't really think it lines up with the lesson that I had did, but if you want to, I guess, fade retail patterns, there's a really good opportunity here during lunch. So I probably would have let that go. But if you look at it, I don't even know where you would draw it from, but I guess like this whole thing here would be a bull flag, right? I mean, I don't know what proper trend lines would even look like, but you know, we want to make it look nice and crispy, right? So maybe something like that. So, you know, bull flag, right? In bear markets is bullshit. So you can see that while it's forming this bull flag, if everybody thinks it's bullish and you want to fade that, what does it trade right into before it goes lower? This imbalance right there. Right, so it breaks down below this low and then hits that imbalance to go lower. So that I would note as well. Not that I show you that all that often, but that's just, I mean, you can generally kind of tell. You don't have to like draw it on there, but you can just tell like, oh, it rallies and it's creating this flag here. And it's like, okay, that's probably a flag we want to fade. Or, and this is a possibility too, is if we're actually bullish on the day, they would finesse the flag here and then rip it higher. And that, my friends, is what I am having trouble discerning for today. Because if you think about it, some of these lows in here, and I'll turn my mouse on. Like these lows here were swept. And the Dow has not. And as I said earlier, I know some of you came in a little bit late. Nice red flag planet. Reminds me of some of my exes right there. But anyway, these lows, I said I wanted to see left open because that could be a target for later. If not for today, maybe for another day. But I feel like if we are going to trade lower, this would easily be a target for today. But looking at all three indices, Nasdaq looks like absolute trash. middle of the range. I mean, it's all over the place. It ran a low, ran a high. I wouldn't consider that a run on a low, but right now it's just chilling right in the middle, almost in the middle of today's range. So that's just gross to me. That's just, I don't want to touch Nasdaq at all. S&P, I think if I was in on a short from here, I would feel okay about it. But ultimately, today's mixed, and I don't care for that. I do not care for that. Gold has a nice mitigation here. 30-minute imbalance. We'll look at gold. This week's been ass. Glad you said that. I mean, I would never say like an entire week that every session was ass, right? I mean, there's always a good setup somewhere. You just got to find it, you know? But this week has been very, I would say at least challenging to some degree. You know, like me personally, I don't like when I take break evens. I mean, even on like S&P, a break even is really more like $50, because if you have a stop that's 1 point in profit, it's a $50 or at least like I guess one tick to cover commissions. But if you understand what I'm saying, 1 point is like $50, right? So that's not really a break even to some people, but to me, dude, that's a fucking break even. You know, like you got 1 point, you know, it's like, dude, there was a 10, 15 point move. You got 1 point. Like, bro, come on. So this is how I look at it, you know? But anyway, back to the point is the market just has not been as clean as I would prefer. And just, you know, we still looked for certain things. You know, Dow still made that low on Wednesday here, right? It traded past that gap, and that's okay, but it closed above it. And then you can see how responsive it was as well on Thursday. And then shit, yesterday we talked about these trailing stops on Discord. That was never met. But look what today's low is. I have not edited that line here. Lo and behold, what happened? It came down for that during London. London's the manipulation session, right? All the, not New York traders, but all the US traders are sleeping, right? And then they grab those stops, and then you wake up in the morning, right? You wake up in the morning and you're going, oh, it's a good day. What's the stock market? Oh, the stock market's up today. Oh, that's awesome. And then you go, wait a minute. I took a loss. What the fuck? And it's like, oh, it came down during London for my stop and then hit the reversal button. It's like, oh, that's some BS, right? I can't tell you how many times that's happened to me in my beginner years. And that's why I don't hold overnight a lot of times, because it does shit like that. And then you go, okay, it came all the way back for mine and then took off. Like, it's ridiculous. But, you know, it is what it is. That's just part of the game. Anyway, so we did leave these open. I like that. I do. Very clean. And we just have like 1, 2, 3. Just 3 lows right there. Chilling. We have a lower here on the fucking ETF. You know what? I should have just canceled the stream and stayed asleep. That's what the fuck I should have did. Today's gross, man. For real. This looks so awful. It's going to be a short stream, I can tell you that. One of you said something about gold, right? I think so. I think so. It ran Wednesday's high. Has been trading lower. Here's the thing. When I look at markets like this, what I think bothers me sometimes is if you don't get in on the first retracement here, which is a very small time frame retracement, if you don't get in on that, it doesn't offer anything after that. Nothing. It just sinks and takes off, and it leaves you with nothing. And I think one of you mentioned that earlier this week. I think it was Pete or somebody, and because I think you posted the S&P and you were like, yeah, it took off without me. And I was like, well, yeah, that's what the markets do sometimes. And that's what I think this gold market did. But you know what? You know what I would study here? Okay, that's what that was. We're going to take that off for now because that's a little bit distracting. What I would note for gold and silver today is the highs here. You see the difference there? This high at 1:10 a.m. right here. And then that run this morning, right? Look at, this is silver, and then look at gold. Gold is higher. So if you were looking for shorts, which I wasn't, but if you were, so this was Wednesday's high. Okay. So it trades above a previous high and Wednesday's high. Silver does not. Classic sign of distribution. Drops down, rallies, and that's the only retracement there. That's it. I did take a trade like this earlier this year on silver, and that was the only trade I took on silver this whole year. It was probably one of the best trades I've taken this year. And it looked just like this. Small time frame breakdown, rally. Shit, I don't even know what I would have went with here. I guess you could say probably this imbalance with a stop at the high of this candle in case it hits this up candle as well. I feel like that would have been okay. But look at that. Now, when you're in a short and it does that, yeah, those are the best trades you want to take. Those are the ones that you want every single time. It won't happen every single time, but yeah, this shit right here is beautiful. Because the stops, I bumped those break even really quickly. It just guns to your, take profit or your profit target, whatever. And it's just like every time you look at the chart, it's lower and lower and lower and lower. And you're just like, wow, I love trading. You know what I mean? Especially if you trade gold or silver futures. Yeah. Because that's not, you're not going to make, $50, $100. Okay. I mean, it's fluctuating $100, $200 every, few minutes. I mean, it can get up there, man. You can get up there. So anyway, that's what I would note if you're studying that. Distribution, breakdown, imbalance, face ripping. Face is getting ripped off. So anyway, I guess we'll watch the Dow today. I get this, that really is the only index that has my interest. So we'll see how this pans out. Philosophical Friday, but I don't have really any specific ideas in mind for today in that regard. But I met some cool people yesterday, and I went downtown yesterday. That's why I stayed up too late last night. I stayed up way too late. And I met well, a few different people, but one of them said that he had liked philosophy, and I'm like, oh, really? Philosophy, huh? So, of course, I had a good old copy of Meditations with me. So I'm like, well, what do you think about Marcus, right? Marcus, Seneca, Epictetus, right? So I showed it to him, and he was like, oh yeah, this is really great. And he bought the audio book like on the spot. He's like, I gotta have this. He's like, you should see my library. I'm a book fiend. I'm like, you should see my fucking library. We should compare and contrast our libraries. That's what we should do. I was like, you probably have more books than I do because of who it is, but I'm not gonna tell you today. But I was like, yeah, you probably have more books than I do, but I at least want to compare. I want to see what you got. I was like, I stopped buying books for the most part because I have no more room left. I have wall shelf, floor shelf, shelves in the other fucking room. They're all full. I have no more room, dude. I got books next to my printer. I'm like, I have no room whatsoever. Shit, I got some even just laying on the floor. You know? I'm gonna have to get audiobooks, or not audiobooks, Kindle at this point. Stoic Friday? What do you mean, Beverly? What do you mean? So I'll probably go over there next week and see the books. See what he's got. So Dow seems to be the only index that is still closer to its high of the day than the others. Seems like our strongest index today, but what I'm gonna watch here is this imbalance and just see what happens. The only issue is if this is wrong, it'll probably trade here. So I think it's going to be, well, I think we talked about this on Wednesday. There was a 1 minute imbalance that we talked about how if it trades through it back into it to go higher. I think I posted that in the Discord where I said, all right, it should fail because of XYZ. So like that same scenario is going to be here. I think it's going to either trade into this and dump lower or trade into this through it and then back into it to go higher. And I guess I'd rather have lower, but you got to be open to being wrong about that. Does that make sense? And this is where trading gets really tricky and difficult when it's stuck between two areas of liquidity, right? That's low probability. That's not what you want to trade. Like you don't want to put money on that. And if you do, I would go half risk. Like if I was truly convinced that this was short, that imbalance right there could be an entry short. Does that make sense? Yeah. No, we had a good time last night. I mean, you know, partying a little bit, had some fun playing games. I met a lot of cool people. So, and I'm finally like glad to start meeting people that don't fucking know who I am. For real. Like oh, you're not a trader. Okay, great. Yeah, I'm a trader and I stream and I have YouTube. It's great, but you know, it's all gravy. You know, I met another author yesterday. She showed me her book. I'm like, "Oh, are you on Amazon?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "I'm on Amazon too." So, yeah, I like meeting people who just have no idea who I am. Because it's different. It was different when I would go to events and stuff in other cities. Everybody knew who I was. And it's just like, it's not a bad thing. It's just, it was very repetitive. I don't mind it, but I wanted something fresh. So finally walking into a room and only like a couple people know who I am, that's fine. But then there's like, oh, what's your name? Oh, I'm John. Like that, I think is great. Networking. And shit, dude, you guys would be surprised at the power of networking, just getting to know people. And I don't want to say taproot because I feel like that's not the intention that I have, but you know, it's like when you get exposed to other groups of people or organizations and stuff like that, it's how you become more well known, right? Like I wouldn't be here without Trade House. I would have never been an educator without Trade House, right? I met Jordan and Daniel and Zach. I was friends with them on Facebook for like at least a year before we ever even spoke to one another. It's just they saw that I traded. I added, you know, we added each other for like whatever fucking reason, you know. And then it was eventually. It's funny. Daniel was telling a story the other day when I was up at Jordan's, and I had told some people like how we met, and then he came outside, and I was like, "Bro, please verify how we met." And then he told them the same story, and it's kind of a long story, but in short, he had copied and pasted one of my posts on Facebook, and I saw that, and so I messaged him, and I was like, "Damn, bro, you can't give me credit for my post." And then we, you know, I wasn't an asshole about it, and then we just like got into conversation. Oh, like, oh, you're a trader? Yeah, I do this, I do that, or whatever. And then it was just a friendship after that. And then eventually it was I'll join Trade House. And then eventually became an educator, right? So I would not be here today if it weren't for a lot of people like Daniel, Zach, Jordan, Rock. Rock Coomer, actually, he was the one who, when I was up for London, I would stream on his channel. I was a guest for like a year, maybe a year and a half, or almost 2 years before I ever got like an actual educator position, right? So it's people like that that are the reason that I'm here now. Because if I didn't have that, I probably wouldn't have a YouTube. I'd probably just be doing what I'm doing now, but just not in front of an audience. You know, would have never had a book, would have never had nothing like that. So you got to network, you got to meet people. Shit, I met some people yesterday. Oh my God. Their network is unfathomably deep. Like connected, bro. Connected. And that's good. So, one thing I guess that I would say is if you are trying to come up as an entrepreneur or a business owner or like some sort of educator, You want to teach people things, and it doesn't matter what it is. I think one thing that the less experienced person has, I forgot what this is called. There's a name for it. I think it's imposter syndrome, where you feel like maybe you're not good enough, or you haven't done enough, or you don't have maybe the credibility that you think you have. This is why you should become a person of value. You need to have skills. You need to have value. You need to be able to contribute to the team, right? If I came to your house, apartment, whatever, if I came to your spot right now and I said, hey, look, let's collaborate on a business. What do you bring to the table? What are you going to say? Are you going to be starstruck? Like, oh, I don't know. I don't know what I'm good at. I don't have any skills. Like, I don't know. Right? That is not a good way to do business. That is not a good way. You know, you're not going to convince somebody to be part of a team or whatever, right? If I asked you, hey, what are your skills? What can you bring to the table? You got to be like, well, I know this. I can do that. I can speak. I can do presentations. I can do X, Y, Z. I've got, skill sets in this area and that area, and I can contribute this way. I'm not very good at this, so you might need somebody for that, because that's not me, but I can do these other things. That's what's going to get you into the door to new shit. But how do you get to that point? Dude, I was trading for like, let's see, 15, 16, 17, 18. I was trading about 4 years before I even joined Trade House, maybe even closer to 5 years before I ever joined Trade House. I was in my room. I shared that photo the other day when I was in the Navy. I said, never forget where you came from. And it was that little wooden desk with that wooden seat. That seat's probably why my back is so fucked up. But anyway, I was doing those things, studying, taking trades, getting my face ripped off, and learning the skill set behind closed doors. It wasn't until later I started sharing stuff, and that's how I got noticed. But I had to build the skill set first. And so that's why I try to teach you guys things, not just the markets, but virtues, right? Like people like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, learning a little bit about Stoic philosophy, learning virtues, right? Being a virtuous person without getting too much into like religion and stuff like that. Okay. And funny enough, I think I told you guys this the other day, but when I started reading The Imitation of Christ by Thomas Kempis, there's a lot of ideas in here that come from Stoic philosophy. Like he talks about journaling. Oh, in the morning, you should set your intentions for the day. And in the evening time, you should reflect on your day. What did I do well? What could I do better next time? I'm like, dude, that's Seneca right there. It might be Thomas Kempis on the cover, but that is Seneca right there. That's Marcus Aurelius right there. You know, and not everything, of course, because he does get very religious in here. But I'm saying a lot of ideas, are around a way of thinking and forming your habits a certain way. And that's why I decided to go with Smart Money Stoics and not like a specific, like Stoicism's not a religion, and that's why I didn't go with any specific religion for like this channel, because I don't want to be that way. But I do want to provide values to people no matter what you believe or do not believe in. Right? You can be an atheist, not believe in anything, but still be a virtuous person, right? Not cut people off in traffic, you know, say please and thank you, open the door, you know, shit like that, right? And that was kind of the point. More universal approach to personal development. So that's why we do that. So you can be a better person, you can think better, be better, do better. And then when the time comes, maybe to do business with other people or start your own business, then you'll be set up properly. Because you never know. Because sometimes it might feel pointless or mundane. Man, John, daily Stoic, I'm reading this shit every day. And, what is it really going to do for me? This isn't doing anything for me. Well, dude, Simon Seneca said this on a podcast. He's like, you don't go to the gym, work out for an hour, come home, and you got a six-pack. That's not how it works. It works over time. It's all about the long run, delayed gratification. You think I lost 22 pounds in a month or two? No. It was, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know how long it was, but it was at least 90 days. At least 3 or 4 months, maybe even 5. I don't remember. I never wrote it down. I didn't care about it. But I knew I didn't put a time constraint on it. I was like, I'm going to lose this weight. And yeah, it's going to take a long time, but I'm ready to do that. So I'll do the turkey burgers instead of the regular burgers. I'll do Bang Energy instead of Red Bull. I'll do more, I forgot what it's called, the sparkling water, flavored sparkling water than sodas, right? And then I gave myself a lot of time. So then guess what? Now today, 22 pounds lighter than I was this time last year. It's all about the long run in anything. And that's why we do this. That's why I have a discipline challenge every week. I didn't just say, oh yeah, do it this week and then fuck all next week. No. That's not how it works, bro. Every week. Earlier this week, I gave you another challenge, or assignment rather. Teachers and sparring partners. Did you guys do that shit? Or did you wait? Did you procrastinate? Did you even do it? That'll be our question of the day. Did you complete the teachers and sparring partners assignment? Yes or no, folks? Yes or no? Did you complete the teachers and sparring partners assignment? You either did it or you didn't, or you did part of it. I'll accept part of it because it's better than nothing. 1 push-up's better than no push-ups, but I do think you're better than that, though. I was at the bookstore last night and purchased 5-year book recommendations. I even saw the journal with the dots. Put it back down. Need to know how to use it properly. Yeah, I've only used it a couple times. Like if I was not streaming right now and I was actually drawing with it, that's what I would draw. I would draw highs and then lows, and then I would draw this imbalance here and go, okay, it's either going to respect it to go lower or break through that back into it to go higher. Then I would say I'd rather have it go lower, but I would not be against switching the bias to bullish. So I think right now, it met about halfway and has reacted. So if it's bearish, what it should not do is trade up here. Because I think if it trades higher, I'm probably wrong about these lows for now. And again, that's why we're watching it. That's why I'm telling you, don't pull the trigger. Like, don't take a trade is what I'm saying. But I'm glad you're buying the book, Stephanie. You didn't use my Amazon link, so I don't get the commissions, but I'm glad you got the books. That makes me happy. I didn't make my 45 cents in commissions from you using my links, but it's all gravy. It's all gravy. Gotta give it to you in the trade house. Credit where it's due. You guys certainly got my interest peaked in trading, and you're certainly grateful. Thank you for that, Sean. I appreciate it. Hopefully you learned a lot of things over the years, or however long it's been for you. Naruto says, shout out to Trade Out, studying the mitigation video you had on Rock's channel and then on your channel back to back 3 times each. Waiting for Mike Miles' session was how I finally understood mitigation. Yeah. Yeah, those were good times. Those were good times. Very, very good. Thanks, Willow. Oh, you haven't done the assignment yet? It's all gravy, man. Look, I know you have a newborn, so I'm not gonna be upset that you didn't do it. You know, a newborn is a lot of work, I'm assuming. You know, so Willow's the only one who gets a pass in here. Everyone else, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? Naruto hasn't done it either. Shame. Shame. I'm gonna have to bump your sniper back to the bronze one. I can't do that, but if I could, I'd be like, yeah, you start over. Wouldn't that suck? Part of it at the moment, I don't have 8 teachers, but I will sit down this weekend upon issues for sure. Okay, Katarina, my friend, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. There are billions of people on this planet, and there were billions of people prior to us. So the fact that you don't have 8 out of billions, my friend, that is a... You see the logic behind that? You see the logic there? You're telling me out of 10, 20 billion people throughout history, including today, you can't find 8 people that you've learned something from? Or you just haven't, you just don't have the 8 yet. You've only got like 4, but you're still working on it. Maybe I misinterpreted that. You don't have 8 yet, or you can't find 8. I guess that's my question. Maybe I took it out of context. We're all waiting for your response. Baby Pips has made it tough to get much of anything done, but I'm doing my best to keep up. Staying tapped in with my daily dad to keep the vibe right. Very good. Is that one that you bought yourself, Willow? I got that one for a friend of mine. I haven't been over to their house in a couple weeks. I might go over there today, or I might not. I don't know. I'll call them and see what they're doing. But I got him a copy of the Daily Dad for his birthday. I don't have 8 yet. I have 5 right now. Oh, okay. Okay. Maybe I misread that then. I thought you were saying that you cannot find 8. I was about to say, Cat. I've recommended how many books? You know? So I was about to get on your ass. But that was just me misinterpreting. Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page. Now, you get the emails every morning, and the book is on its way. All right, very nice. Yeah, I get the emails from Ryan Holiday, but I don't read them every day. I'll be honest with you. To be fair, if they were a tad bit shorter, I probably would. I'm just impatient. If you noticed, I have not put out my own email in the last 3 weeks. So, you know, lacking on that side. Good thing it's a free email. Good thing it's free. Anyways, what I'm doing is just cycling through to see what they're doing, to see if there's any sort of either symmetry or asymmetry. You know, like seeing if maybe I missed something and now a couple of them have maybe upside targets that may drag the other one higher or lower. I'm just trying to see like what's going on here. That's all. Trying to get a consensus here. But remember, we talked about how We traded halfway and we're lower. So what it shouldn't do, if it is bearish, it should not trade back up to the high end of this. So right now it's selling off a little bit, or at least repricing lower. So we're still watching it to see. But if I was like in on that, or even this here, I would want to see a response the next few minutes. I would want to see us to start trading lower. I wouldn't want to just hang out here like a lounge, like a hookah lounge. I wouldn't want to just hang out here. I'd say, okay, if you're gonna go lower, then fucking move. You know, if you're gonna do it, do it. They usually arrive right when I'm feeding him, so I read with my free hand while the man eats breakfast. Okay, I get what you're saying, man. Dude, I got a package coming tomorrow, and I'm really excited. I'm debating on whether to do an unboxing video or to wait until Monday to open it with you guys here live on the session. What do you think I should do? What do you think I should do? Should I open it myself and have that moment for myself? Or should I wait until Monday and open it on the stream in front of you guys? What do you think I should do? I can't have more than one poll, so I can't do a second one. You're just gonna have to type into the chat this time. 12 votes, 83% said they haven't done it. Only 17. Man, you guys don't do the assignments. You don't buy the fucking books. Man, I am just the worst educator on YouTube. I am the worst educator on YouTube. My people don't do shit. My people don't do nothing. Don't like the stream. Don't do the assignments. Golly. You guys are the absolute worst. Worst. Monday. Everyone says Monday. I gotta wait another few days to open my own package. You guys are gonna make me do that. See, look at all this emotional turmoil you guys are putting me through. Good thing I'm a stoic, aspiring stoic. It's fine. It's just a package. I already know what the fuck it is. I ordered it. So it's not like a birthday present that I'm sitting on. I know what it is. I just don't know what it looks like. All the reviews say that it looks better in person than it does online. So I'm like, okay, I'll believe you. It better look fucking badass how much I spent on it too. But anyway, breakfast with Seneca, How to Think Like a Roman Emperor, Donald Robertson. Letters from a Stoic, Seneca. Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl. Effortless, I think that's Greg McKeown. And Breakfast with Seneca, I think, is David Fideler. That was a good one too. They're all good. They're all good. Oh, now it's We Love You, John. Yeah, now we'll like the stream. You guys are terrible. You guys are terrible. Now you don't. Now you see why I don't do in-person events, you know? No, I'm just kidding. You guys are all over the world, so how's that going to work? Shit, I can't even meet some people here that are in Texas. I'm like, hey, you want to come to this event? I'll be here. Oh, man, well, you know I got to do this. Oh, fuck you then. You know what I mean? Like, all right, cool. No worries. Don't worry about it. Got them for my son's birthday this Saturday. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you know, you should get those books for his birthday, right? and then you should just read them. You know, kind of like get them for yourself. Be like, you know, here's some books you should read, you know? And then when he's not looking, snatch one of them and go read it. And then just put it back, grab another one when he's not looking. Have him think they're his books, but they're really yours. That's how you do it. That's that 200 IQ play. 2 birds, 1 stone. Buy a bunch of books. The son gets his birthday stuff, and all is well in the world. And all is well in the world. Ugh. This is just so disgusting. You know what I mean? You ever took out the trash one day and the bag, you're walking and the bag itself is like leaking juice and it's like garbage juice on the ground? It's really gross, right? That's this price action today. The juice at the bottom of a trash bag. That's what today is like. So how's that for visual? Beverly says it's our books, right? That's right. Shit, dude, if I ever have a child, they're gonna be left with so much shit. Books, bookends. I got this owl right here I've shown you before. I got a small bust of Marcus Aurelius, my Memento Mori coin, right? And my Premeditatio Malorum coin. I mean, dude, if you walked in here, you wouldn't be able to tell if this was a house or a fucking bookshop. Did you guys hear a beep? Or is that just me? I think my fire alarm is out, or my smoke alarm might be out of battery. Man, fuck, I don't want to deal with that today. I don't want to deal with that today. I just totally forgot what I was talking about. Show me Marcus. Oh, did I not show you guys that before? Oh yeah, see, we're back in that imbalance, and that is not very cash money. It is not very cash money. It's a small one. I don't know if the camera's going to be able to focus on it, because I don't think it autofocuses, but it's very bright in here too. I got all the fucking lights on. But it's Marcus Aurelius. I don't know. It's really hard to see that, isn't it? Anyway, I got it off at Etsy. I think it was like 25 or 20 bucks or some shit. But he sits right on top of my computer, right under my eagle. Or not eagle, sorry, my owl. I don't know why I said eagle. But, you know, he's just chilling. He's just chilling. You know, it's unfortunate, but I think a lot of religious people would be like, oh, you can't have statues and shrines of people. It's like, bro, I'm not sitting here praying to a fucking piece of plastic. It's just a reminder, man. Marcus is watching me. He's saying, bro, be strict with yourself and tolerant with others. You don't have to have an opinion about everything. You know? Like, come on. It's just a reminder. I think that's one thing that really is a big turn off to a lot of people that are not religious or people who don't go to church. Because I think some people who do go to church are very again, I'm not trying to talk shit, but I'm just, you know, it's just some people come off the wrong way. They come off the wrong way. And if you really want to convince somebody of something, you got to really be respectful, right? Marcus says, stop talking about what a good man should be. Just be one. Right? Same idea. Stop talking about what a good church-going person does and just be one. Setting the example is going to bring more people, you know? Like if I wanted to bring people to a church that I was going to, that's what I would do. I would be kind and, you know, nurturing and offer advice and offer wisdom. You know, and if they ever sit down one day and say, hey, you know, man, John, you know, you're pretty knowledgeable. Like, where did you learn this stuff? I'd be like, dude, you want to learn some stuff? You come to this church I go to. Just try it out. That's way more convincing, right? Than you're a sinner. You're going to burn in hell unless you go to church. Like, dude, come on, man. Dale Carnegie, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Simple as that. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's unfortunate we don't have footage or, you know, recordings of Marcus Aurelius, because I wonder what he would have sounded like to people. Like his tone and all that shit. That would be interesting to know. All right. So we traded to the higher end, this imbalance. That's not cash money to go lower. That is not cash money. If anything, let's come back to the charts for a minute. It is Philosophical Friday, but we are still watching live price. That is the thing. Okay. Man, this is terrible. Okay. This looks so trash to me. This is awful. If this is a lower low, if that's a run on stops, it's a very pathetic run on stops, but if it is, like small time frame run on stops, then I'm wondering if this ends up being a mitigation to go higher. Again, don't take a live trade, okay? Demo you can, paper you can. That's fine. Okay, but I'm telling you right now, don't live trade, don't do a fucking challenge trade or whatever. We're just trying to watch it right now, okay? This to me, I like it. I don't think it qualifies as a mitigation model though, only because of these lows here. But this imbalance, it did give a reaction. It made a new low, so that to me would easily be a break even. So if we broke even on the short, we made a new high. Okay, there's your break of structure. There's your lower low that ran stops. The other indices were higher. S&P, I think, made equal lows, so that's great. And if this trades into that gap there, respects it, I think it'll fucking launch higher. Unless it just goes there now. I don't know. We'll watch it. Art has value? What are we talking about? You guys did hear that battery. Okay. Well, the thing is it usually goes off every, I don't know, like 2 minutes or something, but it only went off one time. Or did it just detect fire or smoke from somebody blowing an account? Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. House looking like a bookshop. Oh yeah. Yeah. There's if you ever watched any of Ryan Holiday's videos or a lot of his reels, a lot of the times behind him there's this massive stack of books. I mean, it's colossal, huge stack of all these books. I saw that in person. It's in one of my reels. I went to Austin This was back in January, and I went to the Painted Porch bookshop. I saw it. I walked in and I was like, oh my God, that looks interesting. I wonder if they had to like glue that stuff together or somehow put like support beams through the, like, I don't even know. I don't even know how that works. But it looks badass. Art just makes me feel good. It's a piece of who I am. Oh, okay. I'm not really big into art though. I don't really care for art. So we have a higher low there on Nasdaq, which because we ended up making lows, so that's great. So what I'm watching to see, and you can screenshot this. You can screenshot this if you want to. I want to see what we do here. I think if it were me, if this was any fucking different, dude, like if this was like that, if that was the reality, I would long the fuck out of that. But that's the only thing that disqualifies this as a setup to me. Like this right there, I would be longing that. I'm going to screenshot this here too, just to follow up later on, just to see. I would be curious. Again, do not press buttons. $108. Ah, that beep went off again. It is. I gotta go switch the batteries out. Well, I guess that's on my to-do list for today. See, now it's gonna go off every minute. I don't have my step ladder up here too. I gotta go grab my step ladder and then take the battery out. Or exchange the batteries. Oh, the statue of Marcus is a piece of art. Okay. I get what you're saying. I mean, it's okay. For what I paid for it, I think it was not worth what I paid for it. See? You finally get a day where you stream. There's no people mowing the lawn. There's no dogs outside barking. You get a nice, clean day with no outside noise. And then you get wrecked by your smoke detector. Can't have it all, chat. I can't have it all. So, okay, so this was $25, but I don't know if there was shipping for this. And you know, another reason that I don't really buy on Etsy is because their shit takes forever. If I order it today, the 8th, it's saying I'll get it between the 12th and the 19th. So it could take anywhere from like a week. That's ridiculous. Give me 1 second. Ooh, look at that. It traded right fucking through that too. Okay, I'll drop the link if you guys want it. See? Look at that. What did it reach for? What the fuck did it just reach for, chat? Look at that. Damn, that's crazy. Should have stuck with the original idea. Should have stuck with it. These lows, see? You don't want a long with equal lows. Dow just got its face ripped off. And then Nasdaq, those lows and this low, and well, not that one yet. All right. So let's talk about it. We screenshotted this, right? I specifically said, do not take a trade. I said that. I fucking said that. It's in the recording. I know it. Okay. So this is constructive. Are you ready for this? And this is why you should screenshot. And we talked about this on Thursday last week in the Discord. We can easily follow up and say, okay, we'll screenshot this here. Bam. All right. So what happened? This fucking alarm, dude. I don't know how loud that is for you, but hopefully it's not very loud. We talked about, before we screenshotted it, what did we talk about? We said, look, we're in between two ranges. We have triple lows and equal highs. It could go either way. I said this could be a mitigation, right? It could be, but it doesn't qualify because we have a downside target that is high probability. Look, you want your jaw to hit the floor? Go back and watch the mitigation model video. Go back and watch that. And go look at all of the rules. When price is in between two areas of liquidity, it's not high probability. So you could have, I mean, that's such a weak run right here. You can have a great setup and then it fails miserably because it doesn't matter what the setup is. The liquidity is going to take premise. So I would say, okay, why did this fail? What I would do, honestly, is probably flatten it a little bit. I would flatten the chart like this because what that's going to do is going to give you all this room on the bottom, all this space to write stuff out, or you could type it as well. So I'd say, okay, potential mitigation model failed because 34,579 I guess had or was triple lows, low resistant lows, and price, or I would say the setup, like the mitigation setup, and the setup was in between two areas of liquidity. Now, obviously, it would be probably set up like this. Okay. Now, again, I would write this on a piece of paper, not type it. You're going to do what you want to do. And then I would print this off. Okay. So why is this important? Well, I'm teaching you discernment. Okay. I keep trying to do that over and over again. I keep trying to show you discernment. This is a good setup, but if it fails, it's going to fail because of X, Y, and Z. And what did it do? Well, lo and behold, it failed and it went down here, right? That, my friends, is discernment. That is what's going to keep you out of bad trades. And that's exactly why I said, don't fucking trade it. I said, do not put money on this. Even if it went higher, even if this actually held and then went higher and then ran the lows, that would have been okay. And that we probably could have looked for shorts. But here, this setup failed and we expected it not to fail, but we expected probably low conditions. And that's a nice 1 minute candle, isn't it? You watch that happen live. And it's, I wouldn't say exciting. I mean, I think that's probably one of the most strongest candle out of this whole day. Yeah, that's the most volatile candle we got all day. Okay. But that's fun, right? Have you guys had fun on today's stream? Now, if you went long and you took an L, that's your fucking fault. You can't blame me for that. Maybe the smoke detector was trying to give us a warning beforehand. But anyway, what I'm looking at is, all right, what was the short? What was the short? I have no idea. I have no idea what the short was. Shorting above this high, I guess. But then if you short above that high, you got these highs that it might run to. I always have fun. Love it here. Always appreciate that. Beverly and Naruto. Sean says value and nuggets. Mystic says always fun. Well, that's good, man. I hope you guys learned something. It's not always about finding the good trades. Sometimes it's about staying out of the bad ones. You can write that shit down if you want. It's not always about finding the good trades. Sometimes it's about staying out of the bad ones. We're going to remark up this imbalance here. We took that off earlier. So yeah, remember that bull flag here? Sold off. It did rally one more time. Honestly, I would have probably taken a break even on that if I shorted this. That might have got me out even. I'll be honest. That probably would have. But that looks okay. Nasdaq just looks so bad today. I don't even know what to think of it. So yeah, there's that. There's the run on lows. And it did that very quickly. When the market does this, it doesn't give you time to make a decision. It doesn't give you time. And that's why you need to have, in my opinion, not financial advice, but you need to have your plan. Where's your stop loss for worst case scenario? You know, that's what to me, you know, that's what a stop loss is, right? A stop loss is not set and forget to me. A stop loss is, okay, what is the absolute worst case scenario? And here's the thing. Let's just say, for easy example, let's just say I risk $100 on a trade. Okay. Let's say 20 points on, or no, let's just say 10 points on the S&P on 2 micro contracts, $100. Okay. I'll go, all right. The absolute worst case scenario is I'll lose $100. But the thing is, you don't have to hold that trade all the way till it loses 100. It could be down 60, 70, getting close to your stop. And you can go, you know what? This trade is not good. It's probably going to hit the stop loss because of XYZ. So I'm just going to close it now and not take the full loss. Okay? That's what I like to do personally. But in the event here, okay, assuming that, let's just say we did long that, assuming that it hit this stop. Okay, it hits the stop and then keeps going. So as long as you didn't get slipped, you lose a small amount versus being in some heavy drawdown. And now being in drawdown, that's not what you want. Because now you're praying that it comes back up here and then takes these highs. Right? You don't want to do shit like that. Yeah, I guess they all were in short-term highs and then dumped. All right. So now you probably see why Friday's my worst day. Right? Because it does shit like this. Gives you a good setup and then just gives you the middle finger. Well, Friday used to be my worst day. I learned a lot of discernment from Fridays. Okay? A lot of discernment. Because I used to get real mad at this shit. Like, damn, why didn't it work? Because goober, you had triple lows down here. Smart money. One of the smart money trading rules: I don't long when there's equal lows, and I sure as fuck don't long when there's triple lows. The more the merrier, dude. So that's even worse. So now what we'll do is we'll take this off. We'll take these two off. We'll take this off. So now the question is, what do we do here in the final hour? Well, actually, we have an hour and a half. What do we do for the rest of the day? Do we accumulate below this low to go higher? Do we consolidate heading into the close? Or do we get domination to the downside? I think that is a good question. I don't know. Hard to tell. Nasdaq got a clean short in 5-minute imbalance above 12 p.m. candle. Right here. That right there. Yeah, I guess you probably could have went with that, but ultimately, I still think the Nasdaq looks like shit. I still think it looks like shit. Even like right there. I mean, because look at it. Like screenshot it right there. Look at this. Where is it? What's in the middle of this overall range here? The only thing you have going is those short-term lows. That's it. That's all you got. It's just short-term lows here. So yeah, it does absolutely slam, but me personally, I wouldn't have shorted that. Little pre-market consolidation there. That may be a target for today. Especially with this shit. Here's the thing. When I'm looking at the lows here, we have a lower low on Nasdaq, but we have a higher low on S&P, and then a higher low on the Dow. So could the S&P end up selling off below these lows? I think that's a possibility. I do think that also is a lot to look for on a Friday, like on a Friday PM session. I don't know. Do not know, my friends. I think it's been a weird week, personally. I think it would be best to probably not take anything. Because if you take a loss going into the weekend, I think psychologically it's not good. I think it's one of the worst things for, like, I wouldn't say all traders, but at least the newer ones and the ones that haven't maybe been around too long. Because then now you're sitting all weekend going, man, I took a loss right before the market closed. Like, fuck, you know? So we did take stops. We did break down violently. I mean, if you do believe that the market's going to face rip this afternoon, I feel like time constraint is definitely a thing here. Hands down. I think it's definitely a thing. I could see this as a possibility. Let me see. It's just, I don't even know. This just doesn't look good. That's got to be a 1 to 3. And then it would probably extend past that. A little 1 to 3.5. So if you are expecting a strong sell-off, which I am not, okay? I'm not expecting a super strong sell-off. But if you were, that doesn't seem bad. 1 to 3.5. If that is a stop run, if it's going to trade lower down here, can you frame a 1 to 3? I think so. The only reason if this would be wrong, if this was incorrect, it would probably be, I guess, if the Dow again scoops the low for stops and then guns to the highs. So for me, it's like, yeah, we have a downside target for the S&P, but we also have a potential upside target for Dow. And that, I think, is what makes me want to walk away from here. As far as like taking any trades, does that make sense? That's what I think. So I guess if it were me, okay, I don't know why when you mark one up and then you add the other one, it doesn't keep your markups. I don't know why it does that. I gotta redo this shit. I don't like that. But I want to show you both at the same time so you understand what it is that I'm trying to portray to you. Okay? So now do you see what I'm talking about? We have S&P. Here, let me just label it real quick just so you guys can see it. So it's a little bit easier on the eyes. Dow Jones, S&P. All right. So with the Dow, I think I could justify higher pricing if we react accordingly from this low. The S&P, if it's going to trade down here, I think it is likely it would trade into that mitigation and then dump. So for that reason, I wouldn't want to do anything. What's your hit rate for the indices, at least for the last 2 years? I don't know, man. I don't know. I haven't looked at that data, but I mean, I've had times where I was 50% for the week or for the month, maybe. I've had streaks where I was 75% for the week or for the month. I mean, it just fluctuates. I've had some instances where I was 90% for a little while. And then of course, the whole strike rate idea, I think is skewed, because some data will justify a win even if you broke even. Okay, like yesterday, for example, if I take a break even, in my eyes, that's 1 point into profit, but your strike rate would technically be a W because it's a win, right? But that to me is not a win. So let's just say it said 75%. Okay, well, if you incorporated, let's say 5 or 8 or 10 break evens into your data, it ain't going to be 75% anymore. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm saying I don't know, because I'm either not going to agree with the data. The data is either going to make you look better than you are, or make you worse, make you look worse than you are. Imagine if you went break even, but then you got slipped on it and ended up losing half a point or a quarter point. You lost money on that transaction. I view that as a break even, but the stats are going to say that it was a loss. I don't agree with that. So, you know, you win some, you lose some. Hopefully at the end of the month, you win more than you lose. And that's the name of the game. I do like getting into details, but certain details I'm not going to get into, like that, for example, the strike rate. Like I'm not going to do it. I'm at this point, after 9.5 years, I'm more focused on scaling up. Because scaling up is not the easiest fucking thing to do. I can tell you that. At least for me. I'm more focused on being more loose with the trade management, because sometimes I overmanage trades. Like I'll go break even too fast. So, you know, I'm working on that as well. So, you know, there's things that I'm worried about more than others, and strike rate is not one of them. If that makes sense. I've seen some traders be 80% and still lose money because their losses were way bigger than their wins. You see what I mean? So hopefully I've overstated my point. That's just not it for me. But it was a great question, though. What are you working on, or how are you working on scaling up? What kind of mental exercises are you doing to achieve that? Man, that's a great question. It's working on understanding. I mean, dude, when I first got into trading, I mean, I'd have a $200, $300 account, you know, risking fucking 20, $30, right? Like 10% of the account, shit like that. But when I started with higher accounts, I didn't scale up slowly. I mean, I scaled up fast. So a lot of the times, what'll happen, okay, is when you scale up exponentially, if you think about it the wrong way like I do, it'll trip you up. My stop losses now are more than what a lot of people's accounts are even worth. You know, and I'm not saying that to be an asshole. I'm just saying, like, if you have a $500 account, $600 account, or even like $1,000 account, you know, that could be someone else's 1%, 0.5%, especially like if you're a funded trader. You know what I mean? So the problem is sometimes I might put an order in and go, okay, how much is this worth? Because you got to look at the money management. You got to be like, okay, what's 1% of X, Y, or Z? And then I see what that is, and I go, oh my God, do I really want to risk that much on a trade? And that bothers me because sometimes I still associate a like trade idea with like real world value. I'll go, okay, John, you're about to risk this much money on a trade, and this is like a month's, 2 months worth of groceries. I mean, this is someone's rent, like, and stuff like that. And I do think that that is the wrong way to think about it. But that doesn't mean that I don't do it. I've heard all the time from people who smoke cigarettes not to smoke cigarettes, right? Smoking is bad for you. You should do it. Smoke is bad. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, but you still do it anyway. And it's hard for me to fix that mindset. The numbers sometimes to me still bother me. And that's why I said under leveraging is an issue. You want to risk 1% and then you only end up doing 0.5% or 0.25%. Okay. That in itself is not necessarily bad, but it in the long run, it will stunt your growth. Because let's say that trade hits. Okay, well, damn, you should have made 2 or 3% on that, but you only made 1%, or even less, 0.5%. You know what I mean? And yeah, I'm telling you, dude, there's so much involved with trading that you would not even begin to realize. Most people have a problem over leveraging. Some of us have a problem under leveraging. Looking at the P&L and not the market. I don't have that problem per se, but I know when I put that stop in, I know how much that's worth. So it's easy to go, you know what? I'm risking, say, $500 on this, and it's halfway to my stop. Oh shit, I'm down $250 right now. Like, it's not hard. You know what I mean? Like, the math is not hard. And if that's what you focus on, that I think can take your attention away from what's actually taking place. It's like, okay, it's going against you, but it's just going to a mitigation. Just going to an imbalance. That's not bad. How many times have you gotten into a good trade? It starts to go against you. You got out and then it just rolled and went your way. And you went, oh shit. Well, I got out early because I psyched myself out. I was too bothered by the drawdown because it was going against me. And you were worried about it. So you just exited it. And then you come back to the charts later that day or the next day and it went right to your TP. And you played yourself. You finessed yourself, right? Because we do that as people. We psych ourselves out of shit. That's a real thing. It's a real thing. Some people will be putting the farm on a trade. I mean, they might. But people like that, some people are really good at masking how they actually feel on the inside. Some people are not. Right? Like, you guys know the term resting bitch face, right? You know, not to be disrespectful. I'm just saying it's a term. It's out there. I didn't make it up, but it's out there, right? Because sometimes when people are in a bad mood, they display that, right? Because they can't hide it. But some people can hide it really well. They might have blown an account because they put the farm on it, and they might be like, oh yeah, it's cool, man. It's whatever. It's not a big deal, blah, blah, blah. They're probably not going to put that on social media, but on the inside, they're fucking burning. They're burning on the inside because it's going to hurt their ego. They just won't tell you that. There's a lot of things people will not tell you. Okay? Especially like the embarrassing things. You know? Like, say someone like me, for example. You know, I've been doing this 9.5 years. Okay? And you might think, oh man, 9 years, like that's a long time. Like, you must have impeccable trade management and your entries must be fire and you must never lose. Like, no, that is not the case. I still make dumb mistakes sometimes. Sometimes I still go break even too fast. Sometimes I under leverage. Sometimes I'll call a trade and I won't even take it. You know? I'm telling you because, you know, I want to be transparent with you guys, and I can tell you how other people do shady shit. You know what I mean? So I've been in the trading game and even like the education game for a while now. I know all the tricks of the trade. Okay, no pun intended. I know all the shady shit that people can do. All right. One thing you can't do is fake calling price in advance. That's like the one thing you cannot fake. Okay. But anyway, you know, I do want to be realistic with you guys, but at the same time, you know, I don't want to be embarrassed either. Like, oh, this might be mitigation and it gets ripped through. You know, that is embarrassing for some. It's not for me because I told you, or the Dow rather, I told you that this would not be mitigation because of the triple lows. If this was 6 years ago, I would have said, all right, we can long up to the equal highs. And then we would have got instant stop loss. And I would have been embarrassed. I'd have been like, oh, shit, man. You know, well, at least we managed our risk. You know, it is what it is, man. Losses are part of the game. And that would have been it. But on the inside, I would have been like, man, fuck. You know, they might cancel their membership. They might unfollow me on Instagram. They might unsubscribe from YouTube. You know? So, anyway, I don't know how we got to this side of the conversation, but I'm not going to tell you what that is, Stephanie. You can just look it up, though. Just Google it. It might be in the Urban Dictionary. So, anyway, we are slowly but surely losing some viewers here. So I guess everybody's probably done for the day. It's probably a wrap. It's Friday, so we'll call it here. All right, we'll call it here. Y'all be good. Stay blessed. Have a good weekend. Finish your assignment. Dude, we had 20 votes. 80% of you said they have not completed the assignment. That means only like 4 of you did. And 16 of you did not. So that's a problem. That's a problem. Because I was going to ask you, how do you feel after doing the assignment? But nobody did it, so I can't ask you yet. Maybe on Monday then. Maybe on Monday. So come back. We'll do that on, do that this weekend. And then if the package comes in and I get it, I will open it on Monday for you. I'll open it on Monday in front of you guys. Okay? So stay blessed. Just add one more teacher, by the way. Yeah, whatever you want to do. But yeah, y'all be good, man. I'll see you Monday.
Like